Good morning, lesson 6-2, one-step algebra. So this is the more mathematical way to solve the problems. So we're going to solve additional problems today. So let's just move over here and solve this problem. So we have something we don't know named m plus 23 equals 33. I think a lot of us in our head know this number has to be 10, but how are we going to prove it? Well, you look at what's happening to the variable, and this is what's happening to the variable. This part's happening to the variable, and so we need to do the inverse of that, which is the opposite. Inverse just means opposite. So the opposite of plus is minus, and if we're adding 23, the opposite would be taking away 23. And because this equal sign exists, you must also take away 23 from this side. And then 33 take away 23 is 10. Our equal sign just comes straight down. 23 minus 23 is 0, and then we're left with the m. We haven't done anything to the m. So m would be worth 10. How could we check to be sure we're right? We substitute the value of the variable. Where there's an m, we could put a 10 and we could check. 10 plus 23 should be 33. Turns out 10 plus 23 is 33, and 33 does equal 33. So m must be 10. That's the process. Okay, let's try this one. So we've got Ruben and Tariq. They downloaded 245.5 megabytes of music. Ruben downloaded 132 megabytes of the total. Write an addition equation that can be used to find how many megabytes of music Tariq downloaded. Normally, what students will say is, well, it's just 245 minus 132. Yes, but that's not us learning to write an addition equation based on this. So we have Ruben and Tariq. That's your addition equation. Ruben plus Tariq is going to equal your megabytes. Let's put M for music. Okay? Ruben plus Tariq is going to equal your music. Well, we know what our music is. It's 245.5. So we can just substitute the values of the variables we know. And we know Ruben is 132. But we don't know Tariq. So we're going to leave a T in for Tariq. Then we have an addition equation. But writing this part down and taking all these words and just boiling them down to one single letter that represents the whole idea is the magic behind algebra. Okay? So Ruben and Tariq equals the amount of music. We know Ruben's. We don't know Tariq's, but we know the total music. Then we can see that variable is being added by 32. So the opposite is minus 132, minus 132. Okay, and then when we do that, here we have nothing. 132 minus 132 is 0, and 0 plus t is t. And then we're going to have 0.5 because there's nothing here. 5 minus 2 is 3, 4 minus 3 is 1, 2 minus 1 is 1. That means Tariq downloaded 113.5 megabytes. Okay, let's talk about Zacharias and Paz. Okay, together Zacharias and Paz have $756.80. Zacharias and Paz have a certain amount of money. Okay, we know the certain amount of money to be $756.80. If Zacharias has $489.50, so we know Zacharias is $489.50. How much does Paz have? We don't know. But now we've written an addition equation that we're being asked to write, and we can figure out how much Paz has because we know this is the variable, and then we're going to do the inverse operation, the opposite. So instead of adding 489 blah, 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 we're going to subtract it. But because the equal sign exists, you must do it from both sides. Let's speed this up and just employ our calculator here. 489 minus 489 is nothing, and nothing plus p is p. So we're good that side. Then we're going to have 756.8 minus 489.5, $267.30. $267.30. That's how much Paz contributed. Okay, So 1, that's how you solve one-step algebra addition problems. You do the inverse operation, or the opposite thing you see happening to the variable. And that's how you write addition equations. Let's do one with fractions, because fractions are often scary for students. We don't want scary. Let's see if we can find a good one. Okay, let's do this one. I'm on page 346 and we're down here on the check. Okay? Whoopsies. So we have k plus 5/8 equals 2 1/4. We're going to solve or find the solution for k. Figure out how much k is worth. Ooh, and then we get to check it. That's fun. So what's happening to the k? Again, we're adding something, so we have to do the inverse of whatever we're adding. So if we're adding 5/8, we're going to take away 5/8. Take away 5/8. You got to do it from both sides of the equal sign. And 5/8 minus 5/8 is nothing, and nothing plus k is k. That side's pretty simple. This side, though, oh, this looks a little tougher. Let's do some work right here. 2 1/4 minus 5/8. Well, I have 8ths and quarters, and those don't work because we need same denominator, so we got to make this into 8ths, because I know 4 is a factor of 8. 4 times 2 is 8, so we must times the 1 by 2 and get 2/8. I've created an equivalent fraction. But I have 2/8, and I'm going to subtract 5/8. I've got to borrow. So I'm going to borrow from the whole and make it a 1. But how many 8ths did we borrow? Well, we borrowed an entire single 1, and 1 is equal to 8/8. So I've got 8/8 plus 2/8 is really 10/8. Now I can take away 5/8. 10 minus 5 is 5, and we're talking about 8s. And then 1 minus no whole numbers is 1. How do we check it? Substitute the value of the variable. So where there was a k, we'll put in our 1 5/8. 1 5/8 plus the original 5/8 equals 1 10/8. And then we got to simplify. This is improper. Okay, 10 divided by 8 is 1, with 2 left over. I'm going to go sideways here. 1 with 2 left over, but this is improper. Let's see, not simplified would be a better term, because 2 and 8 share a factor. Whoopsies. The 10/8 was this, and then I had the 1 that existed earlier, so I really have 2 and 1/4, because 2/8 simplifies to 1/4, and that's what we originally thought it should equal. Yay! All right, so that's 6-2. That's your introduction to one-step algebra.